皆さん、こんにちは。弊社 CEO が長年の経験をもとにテーマをピックアップし、鋭い視点で解説する CEO インサイト。今回は海外企業と仕事をするためのポイントを説明いたします。
Welcome to the March 2023 CEO Insights. In this episode, I want to share some experiences I've had in Japan over the last, 10 years now. I've lost count of how many times I've been there. Love the country. We've now Skipping Stone has brought about 23 companies from international markets, Europe, US, etc., into the Japan market. So something I really want to start sharing, how Japanese companies might deal with some of these international companies, some of the tips, if you will. I give a lot of tips to the international companies coming in, trying to share my experiences with working in Japan and working with Japanese companies. So maybe I thought I'd turn around and share some of the tips for Japanese companies working with international. So the first thought I've had, the international companies are incented to move faster than your typical Japanese company is. A couple of reasons for that. One, they've come in, they've started, they're investing money, if you will, in Japan. So until they have their first customer, it's all expense and no revenue. So, most companies, quick as possible. Most of them we've worked with, we try to explain patience is a total virtue in Japan. But even then, at some point, after probably a year or so, if they're not seeing daylight, if you will, they start to think about pulling out. I know Japan takes much longer than most countries to start your business, and ours is lucky in many ways, but we've done very well in Japan. The second tip is Japanese, I've learned over the years, very much value relationship development before you really can even do much business development. International companies see them as the same thing. Relationship development and business development in most international companies equates to the same outcome in their minds. They don't understand that Japan's not viewed the same way. So understanding that, I think would help in some ways. The other big thing that I try to explain to the international companies is they don't understand how Japanese companies make decisions, how the process works, especially the larger companies where they have the mid-year and then the fiscal year and the whole series of decisions that, have little decisions to get to a big decision and finally perhaps signing an actual contract. It's a much different process in Japan. I think in many ways, assuming that as a Japanese company, you're actually interested in something an international company has, which we usually know, not the first visit, maybe the second or third, we know there's at least some interest in pursuing something. I think Japanese companies would do themselves a favor and eliminate some of the pressure that the international companies tend to put on by laying out how decisions are made, what the steps are, what's going to be required, instead of leaving the international companies to guessing how that works. Because I think most of them think that, they've had 3 good meetings, let's go a contract. Doesn't always work that way. I know that most of them don't. The last item I want to bring up is Japanese companies actually have a negotiating advantage with the international companies that I don't think get used very much. International companies need to get that first and second customer under their belt. They need to generate something to justify their entrance and their investment in coming to Japan. As a result, in our experience, most of them are willing to heavily discount or throw extra services in or go beyond where they would anywhere else in the world to get that first and second customer. So I don't think Japanese companies understand that's a negotiated advantage. Maybe they do, I'm not sure. I'm not on the other end of the table to understand that. Anyway, this is a couple of things I just kind of want to share, and hopefully these are useful. Thanks for watching.